Hey everybody, it's Ella again, and I'm back. I'm dropping these like left and right now, right? Crazy. But first I want to say I'm not a bitter Betty. I'm not doing this with malicious intent at all. I'm doing this as part of my healing process. Not to mention, I think I mentioned in the first episode that he knows I'm doing this. Al Bundy is completely okay with it. He gave me his blessing to discuss all parties, including Peggy Bundy. Um, he gave me his blessing to tell my story. And in his words, if it helps me feel better, you know, but we know how that goes. Um, I do believe that he gave me his blessing because he feels like nobody that he knows will ever hear this. I mean, who knows, right? Um, but he does also know about how he love bombed me, and he knows how he groomed me to become the shell of the person that I was when I was with him and dealing with him, and he's fine with it. So I wanted to throw that out there first because he knows. I mean, I've he knows what I'm doing, and he's okay with it. He knows I'm not being bitter about it. He actually told me that he hopes I become successful in YouTube land and podcast land, and you know, he even asked for like 10% of the money, the monetary gain I may get from this. So this is not something I'm doing in secret. My purpose of this is that I myself can come on here when I'm up at 3 in the morning and I go, oh, I remember that time when, and or anybody else who wants to tell their story. They do not want their abusers to walk around still being the good guy or the good woman. Like nobody should be in a position where they have been mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally abused or financially abused. And the person who brings that harm to them and their families and their lives and their livelihood should be able to just walk around like they've done nothing wrong. Every action, good or bad, has a consequence. We as survivors, because we're not victims, we're survivors. It's a difference. We as survivors should not allow these people to be able to do such destruction, and then we have to be silent. We have to heal in silence. We have to cry in silence. We have to scream in silence. We have to be depressed in silence. Like, and these people go off and they live their lives like they've done nothing wrong. It's not fair. The purpose of this is to give everybody an outlet who hears this, and that's my purpose. And if I help just one person, if I can get one person to just tell their story, to just get it out, to get that weight off their shoulders, all of this, every single second I spend on this is worth it. So, with that being said, let's move on to my first story time. Okay, so this was like year two and a half, almost three. I couldn't have been 3 years, like our third year together. However, let's just make sure that everybody knows I'm still working about 10, 12 hours a day because he's starting this business off. So where I live, my daughter was still in daycare. So where I live, where we moved to, I had, it was about a 20-minute, 20, 25, no, it wasn't, about 25, 30 minutes, depending on traffic, rush hour traffic, drive to my daughter's daycare. Um, and then from dropping her off, it was about a 30, 35-minute drive to my job. So I'm on 695. I'm on the Beltway. I'm going to drop her off. at daycare, and my car is old. Okay, nothing fancy about it. So I'm driving, and I think I'm on a beltway, maybe 10 minutes or so. The light comes on the dashboard for my alternator. I know my car. I know what that light meant. I know. Okay. I take very good care of my car. I know what things mean. So I start panicking. It's rush hour. I love the middle lane. I don't know why. But I always drive the middle lane. So I call him and I'm like, hey Al, um, the light for my alternator just came on and I'm panicking essentially because my daughter is in the car. I'm in the car. It's rush hour traffic. Like my car could stop at any moment. So I'm like inching my like trying to inch over so I can get near the shoulder or whatever, just in case she starts slowing down. It's happened to me before. Whew. Mm. Great part about that was nobody was in the car with me. It was just me. So I handled it better. However, I call him and I tell him what's going on. And he's driving his dump truck and he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, the alternator is about to go up on my car, and I have Vera in the car, and it's rush hour. Like, I need this checked. I need this looked at. Like, what am I supposed to do? Because I don't want to be dominant in a relationship. I'm dominant in every other aspect of my life. I should not have to be dominant in a relationship. I should be able to be the woman. I should be able to be feminine, right? So, anyway, that's neither here nor there. So he's like, catches an attitude. I hear the attitude change in his voice. You know your mate, you know your partner, you know your spouse. I heard the attitude change in his voice. And he says, well, did the car stop? I said, no, I'm still driving. I'm trying to get Vera to daycare at least and get her out the car. And he goes, well, ain't nothing I'm going to do about it until the car breaks down. What? I mean, Ella, what you want me to do? Ain't nothing I can do about it. I mean, unless the car break down. Like, what do you want me to do about it? I'm working right now. I ain't nothing I can do. Like he goes into a bitch fit. Okay. I don't, I had some other choice words in my brain, but sometimes my mom listens to this. Sorry, mom. Um, and he goes into this fit on the phone, and the only thing I could do is go, you know what? You're right, Al. Don't worry about it. I hang up the phone. I did get my daughter to daycare. I did get to work in my car. So I want to put that out there. However, the panic of knowing that my car is going to stop at any moment weighed on me all the way to daycare, all the way to work. You know, it weighed on me. I'm human. He and I had routine. We had a routine, and that's why he was able to cheat so much and get so many prostitutes and nut bucket assholes. Okay, because we had routines. Okay, so we would usually talk when I was on my way after I dropped Vera off and on my way in the office. We would talk on the phone until I got to work. We would talk on my two breaks and my lunch. Um, Sometimes he would even like surprise me and show up at lunch. And now that I'm thinking about it, it was probably because he just got finished doing something he wasn't supposed to do. And that's why he would do that. Anyway, um, he did not call. I did not call him. I get to work, I do my job, but I'm still in my mind like, okay, what am I going to do about my car? Everybody should have, I'm just side note, everybody should have um, a mechanic they can go to that's outside of the $1 million shops, that we have that's on several corners and charge you an arm and a hoof to fix your car. He had those people. I didn't. My best friend is a mechanic, but he lives in Philly. So that didn't help me too much at that point in time. Um, but I'm at work. I go on my first 15-minute break, and the only thing I can do is to um, only thing I could do was to think to figure out who to call, who can help me, because the man I'm laying next to just don't care. Who can help me? So I called my stepfather, and I called him. And by the time I figured out to call him, I was already in tears. I was crying. I was probably hyperventilating on the phone. And he picks up the phone, and I tell him what's going on. And he's like, "Nope, don't worry about it. Um, come straight here when you get off work. Can you get off of work early? You know, so you don't have to be in rush hour traffic." Like, he's going through these steps with me. Oh, side note, I'm sorry, I keep going to side notes. Where Al Bundy parked his dump trucks and where Al Bundy had his friend also, well, I'm sorry, not had, but his friend also worked where he parked his dump trucks was literally 8 minutes from my job at that time. So keep that in mind. So, so my stepdad is giving me step by step instructions. He's like, calm down. It's okay. We're family. I got you. Don't worry about it. Blah, blah, blah. And I calm down. I'm like, okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So the plan was to get to my mom in his home, leave my car there, take his pickup truck, um, and he would get his mechanic to come and work on my car in front of their home, whatever, that's fine with me, fine by me. So um lunchtime comes, he does not call me. I don't call him. I get off work early. I toot 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 to my mom and stepdad's house. I'm lying. I tooted and got Vera. And then I tooted because my mom and Vera's daycare is not that far apart. So I went and picked Vera up, and then I went to my mom and my stepdad's house, and I just stayed there because I mentally couldn't move. I mentally could not relax that entire day because I was a wreck. I was a wreck. The man who tells me he loves me every day did not even bother to call and check on me to make sure I made it to work safe. He did not check and make sure that I made it to Vera's daycare safe. And he is, one who says Vera is his daughter, even though he's not biologically her dad. And all of that was mentally playing on me. Not to mention, I was so used to working so much. I know y'all might be like, oh my God, Ellie, you are stupid. I'll take that. I was still like, oh my God, I'm missing out on so much money because I had to leave work to deal with my vehicle instead of me getting that overtime today. So it was a lot. So I get to my mom and stepdad's house, and I just sit there. I sit there and I cry some more. I talk to my stepdad, and my stepdad's aggressive, y'all. He's like really aggressive. Sorry, mom, if you're listening. But before my mom came home and I'm telling him what's going on, he's like, his favorite word is BS. So he's like, this is some bullshit. So he's going off and he's going off. He's like, and I start crying and he calms down and he's like, it's okay. Don't worry about it. But you can tell like he was holding his aggression back. And it was just like, all right, well, I'm just going to wait until mommy gets here so I can see her. That was just my way of not going home. I did not want to go home. I did not want to see that man. I did not want to face Al Bundy. I didn't want to talk to Al Bundy. I didn't want to hear his voice. I just didn't want to go home. And it starts raining. It is a monsoon outside, and I leave at night, and it is pouring down. Y'all think he called? No, he didn't. Y'all think he cared? No, he didn't. So while I'm driving home at night, I'm like, you know what? It's about 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock, and I'm like, you know what? He's probably not even going to be home yet. Anyway, I can get in the house, get in the shower, get in the bed, and what I used to do when I didn't want him to touch me or say anything to me, I would like roll myself in the sheets a little bit. He called it a cocoon, and that's probably what it looked like. So I was like making my plans on what I would do when I get in the house. Would y'all believe when I pulled up into the apartment complex? He was home. He was home. It is pouring down, cats and dogs, raining like crazy. He was home. I walked through the door. While I park, I park and I get my bearings together and I say a little prayer. God, I can't go to jail, Jesus. Okay, jail. Orange is not my new black. It's not okay with me. So I go and go in the house, you know, fix my daughter and my son something to eat real quick. I wasn't hungry. When I'm ticked off and I'm upset, I don't eat. It's fine. I'm okay. I'm it's all right. So fix them something to eat. Go ahead, come in here. Not in here, but go in the room, get in the shower, cocoon myself. Negro in there. By the time I get out the shower, Negro sleep. He don't ask me how I got home. He don't ask me Jack Boo Kitty about my car. He doesn't say anything about how was your day. Nothing. Okay. Mind you, I talked to him early in the morning, like 6 something, 7 o'clock in the morning. That was the last time I talked to him. I said, okay, well, you know what? When he leaves out 2, 3 in the morning, he's gonna notice because I parked right out front of the building. He knows my parents' cars, right? Well, vehicles. And I parked right out front of the building. It was like God was trying to tell me something, right? Nothing. And when he left out, nothing. He didn't say anything about, oh, you got your stepdad's pickup truck. Nothing. Do y'all know to however many 4 or 5 people are going to listen to this? Do y'all know that 2 to 3 days later, no, 2 days later, is when he finally said something to me because we're not talking at all. He finally said something to me and he says, oh, well, do you want blah, blah, his friend, um, to look at your car? I say to him, my car is fixed. I am driving my car. You left out of that house for 2 days and did not realize my car was not sitting outside. What you mean your car is fixed? Who got your now it's a ego thing. It's a pissing contest. Who got your car fixed? How did you do this without me? I'm like, my stepdad did it. Like he found the mechanic for me. It wasn't a monetary thing. It was a who can fix my car thing. You know what I'm saying? So my stepdad had the mechanic. The mechanic came, fixed my car. Look, I this is the type of thing that I would have to deal with. And then I found out that within that time span, he got something happened with his mama car. He had to get his mama car fixed. Now, don't y'all think I'm trying to shade his mama. All I'm saying is that his mama had 2 vehicles. So what was the importance? I have one, and I have precious cargo, not me, but my daughter, who you also call your daughter. that I'm traveling back and forth for because I'm working 10 to 12 hours to ensure if your business thing don't work or if you fall short somewhere in your business, I have that money in my savings account. But as soon as I say I did something on my own, it's an issue. It's a problem. Then it came into, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just stressed out because things not going the way they should be going. I didn't care. At that point, I really didn't care. And I think that was another gut punch to me. And it sucked a tad bit more of who Ella was out of me. To know that, and I believe, and I don't want to say it because I'm not sure. Well, I'm going to say it, but I'm not sure. But I believe that he said somebody else needed help at that point in time as well. And I always used to say to him when we did have discussion, we did not argue. We never argued. We we argue now. Okay. Well, recently. But when we were in a relationship, we never argued. Um, and when we had that discussion, I was like, you don't have to keep showing me where I am on your totem pole, where I am on your priority list. Like, I know I don't even, when it comes to your totem pole, I know I don't even touch that totem pole. I used to. I used to be at the top of that totem pole. I would sneeze and he before the sneeze was complete, he would be there with tissue. Like, I know where I used to be or where you made me believe I was on that totem pole. So I'm that is the story time. One of the story times that I can get through without like busting out in tears. Like this, I was traumatized for 8 years, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. Um, but that's it. That's my story. Um, for that one, he never apologized for not being or stepping up or caring. He never apologized for anything. You guys know a narc does not apologize because everything they do is right. So, with that being said, I'm going to end this with something that I found on Instagram today. And it said, feeling safe in someone's energy is a different type of intimacy. That feeling of peace and protection is really underrated. I cannot agree more. Find someone who gives you intimacy on a level you've never experienced before. I will talk to y'all soon. Stay safe and take care.